Neverness to Everness is one of the most anticipated gacha games released in 2026. There were massive expectation and hype around NTE, but did it live up to it? Neverness to Everness is developed by Hoda Studios and is an anime-style open-world action RPG taking place in an urban setting. NTE was released in China first on April 23rd, 2026, and global a week later on April 29th, 2026. This video is not sponsored. My experience will be 100% on the PC client. Originally, I wasn't planning on playing NTE until a month before its release, because when I initially heard about NTE, there was another similar open world action RPG game called Ananta. At that time, NTE and Ananta have a bit of similarities, and if both games were released near similar time frame, Ananta kinda caters more to my preference. So I stopped following NTE until recently when I saw Hoda Studio made massive improvements to NTE and there were no news about Ananta's release date yet. It ultimately made me try out NTE. I had high expectations going into NTE and for the most part it met expectations. This will be my early impression review of Neverness to Everness. I'd like to start off with the story. I have finished all the available main story quests in 1.0 and I'll try to keep it as spoiler free as I can. Honestly, I think the story is probably the weakest part of the game. I usually try not to be critical of 1.0 stories. I view them as introduction to the world, the characters, and to set a premise of the plot. But the story felt kinda all over the place. Some chapters felt like it should not be a main story quest. I couldn't really grasp what the storytellers are trying to lead us into. I think what they did well was introducing us to all these factions and characters. These characters also interact with each other. A lot of these gacha stories usually revolves around the main character, and you rarely see characters interact with each other other than, the main character. So it was nice to see the main characters kind of sitting back and taking somewhat of a support role in some of the stories. For story presentation and cinematography, NTE goes above my expectations. I'd personally rank it as my top 3 in the gacha genre. The cutscenes are beautiful, stunning and colorful, very polished, and in general high production quality. Although in some scenes I did experience some frame drops, but regardless, overall I think it was well done. My opinions on the voice acting are a little bit mixed. I used the English dub this time, and I think some of the voice acting for the most part was okay. Some voice lines feels a bit rushed or short and do not match the lip sync, which kind of causes awkward pause breaks. Some of the voices do not match the character. For example, I think it's Baikon or Baisong, who looks like he's in his late 20s, but his voice actor sounds too young for him, like a teenager instead of an adult. I was close to switching to the Japanese dub, but I decided to try to stick around for 1 or 2 more patches before doing so, hoping for improvements. Moving on to the character designs, I'm a fan. Each character has their unique design and charm, even the named NPCs. NT does well introducing us to the cast and is good at presenting the characters' personalities. Their characters are very expressive. I think the developers did a good job in making the characters feel 3-dimensional and giving them more depth. My personal favorite character so far is Mint. I like her design, personality, and color palette. NTE's female characters models look very high quality. The developers know who their core audiences are. All my playtime on NTE has been on the PC. Performance wise, it has been mostly good. It's not 100% perfect. I have experienced FPS drops or spikes during cutscenes, in the overworld, and sometimes in combat. So stability can be a bit shaky at times, but it's not the worst. The keyboard and mouse controls for cars felt a little janky at times. Sometimes when I turn, I would just randomly spin out. It could be a skill issue on my end, or just a lack of understanding of the car mechanics in NTE. I think for a launch, it's not the worst in performance optimization. Next, I want to go over my thoughts on NTE's open world. The open world is very well designed. There are some truly breathtaking areas. Sometimes I think to myself, like, I can't believe this is a free-to-play game. I like the modern urban setting more than I thought I would. It's refreshing and it's a welcome step away from the fantasy, medieval, or apocalyptic settings from the other open world gachas. I love driving in the city, cruising and admiring the scenery until you drive too far and hit the no-go zone. When I look at the map looks small, but it feels big when you're experiencing it in the open world. One thing I notice is the lack of loading screens. Almost everything in NTE feels seamless. For example, when I'm going up or down an elevator, it's one smooth transition instead of a loading screen. When I'm going into an anomaly zone or an area boss fight, the transition is seamless. It does enhance the open world experience in my opinion. One thing I dislike about NT's open world is running up or climbing objects. It's annoying to run up a building or a wall, then your character goes into their climbing animation a second later. I'm not a big fan of the much longer wall run feature being locked behind Nunnally's kit. If you ever play any action RPG gacha games, NTE's combat will feel familiar. Their button layout is like most ARPG gacha games. You have your basic attack, skill, and ultimate, which is found in almost all ARPG gachas. You might have an extra button to press if your arc comes with an ability. Arc is the weapon in NTE. Their UI design resembles closest to Wuthering Waves. NT's combat feels like a bastard child between Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. NTE uses a 4-character team like Genshin. The Esper cycle is similar to Genshin's elemental reaction but feels very restricted. NTE has a perfect dodge, parry, and Esper gauge, which is similar to Wuthering Waves' concerto system. I haven't had the chance to fully grasp NTE's combat yet, but my early impression of it is it's alright. Besides Zero, the main character, every character generates their Esper gauge very slowly. Sometimes it might take about 3 to 5 rotations to fill up their Esper gauge. This makes the Esper cycle feels less impactful in fights. Maybe there's a stats that helps generate Esper gauge faster. If there is, please let me know in the comments. Putting aside the Esper cycle, the combat is very fluid and intuitive. Feels like I'm playing Wuthering Waves without the concerto system. I can see the potential of high skill expression in NTE and I'm excited for it. Again, this is my early impression. My opinions may change once I gear up my characters for the endgame. As for character progression, NTE uses a similar template as its open world action RPG gacha game competitions. You use the XP materials to level up your character and weapon. For each ascension breakthrough, you need a certain amount of boss drops and secondary drops. The only small difference is not requiring you to go pick up flowers in the city. I think it's good to exclude that as a requirement for ascension. It removes the part of the inconvenience for pulling a new character, not being able to raise them because their ascension materials is locked in an area, and to unlock that area, you will need to go through the story. Leveling up your character's skill and passive also uses a similar template from the other action RPG gacha games, aside from the addition of a life skill. Life skill are like a passive for the open world activities. Some life skills helps you earn more money in your passive income. Some can help you assist in your mini games or reduce the cost for fixing your vehicles. NTE's gearing system is unique and creative. It's like a Tetris grid and you try to fit as many Tetris pieces into your board. I like the aesthetic of the game board like design. Each character has their unique board. They named their gearing system console and each console has a cartridge and modules. Cartridges are basically your set effects and modules are your Tetris pieces. To activate your set effect, you'll need to place specific Tetris pieces onto your board. Your first priority is to meet the requirement for your console's set effects, then try to min-max to fill up your whole board. Each cartridge and modules have a main stat and 4 substats. The neat thing is, the substats are already revealed to you, but you'll need to level them up to unlock the substats. I'm a big fan of being able to see all my substats. It lets me know if I should invest my resource in leveling it up or just trash it. The only action RPG gacha games that has a similar gearing system to this is Black Beacon. Overall, NT's gearing system is a breath of fresh air in the ARPG gacha games genre. One thing I want to commend NTE is the replayability. Aside from the endgame gear grinding or stamina dump, a lot of gacha games struggle with replayability. There's so many horizontal content to keep you busy in NTE, and I think there's like a little bit of everything for all players. If you like combat related activities, there's high risk commissions, which are kind of like a tactical hologram from Wuthering Waves. If you want something chill to do on the side, you can go fishing. If you want a PvP, you can race, play Mahjong or Tetris against other people. If you like cruising around the city, you can be a delivery man or a taxi driver. These are all permanent free mini games, and I hope they add more in the future. Neverness to Everness has one of the best gacha systems in the gacha space. It has a 1% base rate, which is the highest base rate in the ARPG gacha genre currently. There's no 50-50 on the limited banner, so you're guaranteed the limited unit. No more pissed off players for losing their 50-50 to a unit they don't want. I hope NTE does well and hope that this gets normalized in the gacha space, so new or current gacha games can kind of like change their models, but it's kind of big copium there. The limited character banner has a hard pity of 90 to guarantee the limited unit, and a soft pity starts at 70 pulls in. I like the novelty of the playboard. It adds a nice aesthetic to the gacha animation. Players also have a small chance of pulling cosmetics within the same banner, which I think is a nice addition. Unfortunately, the limited arc banner is not 100% guaranteed. It's at a 25-75 system, and we're the 25%. The arc banner has a hard pity of 80 to guarantee the limited arc and no soft pity. If you do not get an S rank arc within 60 pulls, your 60th pull will be an S rank arc. It uses a different currency than the limited banner pulls, and you must pull 10 at a time. The currency can be obtained via exchanging your pull rebates or using premium currency. All in all, NTE has a great gacha system, and I'm happy to see companies are stepping away from the 50-50 system. It's easier on the consumer's wallet, and it kind of makes it less predatory. For a 1.0 launch, NTE did fairly well in my opinion. There was some drama about Gen AI usage and players bug abusing, but we're not going to get into that in this video. I can see Hoda Studio has put a lot of money, time, and effort into NTE. They've learned a lot from their past mistakes from Tower of Fantasy. I'd definitely give NTE a try if you're looking to pick up an open world action RPG gacha game. Hope you enjoyed my video. If you do, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Comment below and share it on social media. It'll help me out a lot, and I appreciate all the help I can get. See you in the next video.